Good morning. It is Tuesday. Feels early. It's not any earlier than usual. In fact, I'm late. So, what's up, everyone? Let me get some messages sent out so people know that I am in fact live. And let's see, where am I going to post those? I need to get over into here, find my live stuff, get a shareable link, drop it into, where does it? Let's see. I guess I should share this in the Astro channel since we're going to do some Astro. And I don't even know where to share this stuff. What's up, everybody? How are you? What's going on? I'm doing some stuff. Okay. I still post stuff on Threads, but I very much feel like I'm just shouting into the void there. Like I don't know. I want to believe that this stuff is helpful, but I feel like it's not. Let me see if I can even edit. Can I edit my live stuff? Edit. Right, and then can I edit the title? You just can't edit the title of a LinkedIn Live, can you? You know what? It doesn't matter. It's LinkedIn. It's going to be fine. Hello, everyone. What's new? What are y'all doing? What's going on? My lighting. Yeah, so, okay. I set up this lighting because I wanted to play with a one light setup. So I've got my key here, and then I've got a reflector here. And you can see what happens if I get the reflector, right? Like you can sort of see how the whole side of my face goes completely dark. Oh, now I broke it. Hold on. This is the jankiest setup. I have it like, it's, don't worry about it. It's so bad. But then the problem is I feel like the background is too dark. And so I think what I want is, actually, hold on. Let me see if I have any battery left in this. Like just a little more ambiance. Like that still doesn't feel right. I have in mind what I think I want. But I don't know. Also, that is 100% going to die at some point. So you'll just see that blue light turn off later. All right. So let me set up the banners here so that I can explain what we're actually doing today. And so we'll do that. We'll do this. Okay. So that feels good. That feels like we're making some progress, somewhat. And then cool. So that means we can actually start doing some stuff. So yeah. So okay. Let me set the stage a little bit on what I want to accomplish, like why I'm doing this project at all. First, I am still very slowly working on the Astro course, and a lot of what I want to build into it is more practical types of things that you would build on the web. And so, you know, we've got the landing page that we worked on like a month or so back on stream. So that's still going to be part of it. And then this one I wanted to set up as like building the Netflix style, because I think there's a lot of application for building like a collection of content that presents it as like, you know, you've got the, say like a series, and then in the series you have different episodes and so on and so forth, right? Like all the kind of connected pieces there. And all of that is like, it's a good excuse to teach Astro DB. It's a good excuse to think about how different types of data interconnect. It's a good excuse to think about different, layout techniques. So felt like a good thing to build. And it also just so happens that I'm in the process of redesigning Learn with Jason. I've showed sneak peeks of the design I've been working on a few times, and anybody who has seen those will probably not recognize what I'm going to show today. So let me get over into this page, actually, and then I'll share my screen. Okay, so let me get my screen up here. This one. All right, so I've been working on a new design for my site, and what I was originally doing was, you can see I've done like a lot here, but I had started kind of putting together this idea of like steering into kind of the fun, the colorful, all of these different pieces. But here's where I started falling down, is I started thinking about what Learn with Jason is, and at the end of the day, now it's closer to a TV network than anything else, because I'm doing Learn with Jason, I'm doing Web Lunch, I'm doing 4 Web Devs 1 App, I'm doing content with partners, I do these streams, and like all of those feel like series. And right now, if you go to the Learn with Jason website, it is only about Learn with Jason. If you look at this site, so we've got, here's the Learn with Jason episodes. We've got my streams in there as if they are Learn with Jason episodes, which these days they're definitely not. I've got my blog, which, okay, happy about that. Got this list of like these YouTube videos, which, completely honest, I'm really starting to feel the pain of these types of videos on my channel. I think they don't make any sense thematically with these types of videos. And so I think these are kind of confusing the hell out of my audience, which is confusing YouTube, which is just causing pain. And I feel like need to think about that, do more about that later. And then, call to the Discord. But then like up here, it's Learn with Jason episodes. It's the Learn with Jason schedule. And then I've got my blog, I've got my newsletter, which you should be on. And then I have this external link to a store, because I had originally set up the store as like part of the Astro site. As part of the Astro course, we are going to do e-commerce. So I'll probably bring this back. But for now, I just wanted to launch and realize that like I was taking a lot of time trying to get the store to work the way I wanted, and it just didn't make sense. And then we've got search. But so like, here's one of the problems I have is like, if you come to my site and you search for web devs, it doesn't come up. Like, I haven't even given 4 web devs a home, and like Web Lunch doesn't have a home. And right now, the way that you get to it is you have to go to YouTube. Like, this is the only home for web devs right now. And like, it's a podcast, you can subscribe to it. It's a whole thing. Like I'm not saying I dislike this, but it doesn't feel complete, and it feels, it's missing something. Like, I want it to have a home. I want to be able to describe it. Like this description on the left feels very like, I don't know if anybody has read this, right? I don't like that it's kind of pushing in different directions with like the recommended playlists and stuff. Like, I kind of just want these to have a home, and I want to be able to have more information. Like, if you get into one of these, there's, the company that was involved, the devs that were involved, the projects that were done. And in future episodes of 4 Web Devs, which, stay tuned for this because it's coming very soon, you're going to be able to, if you want to build the app, we're going to open it up a few weeks in advance of the episode going live. And if you submit your app by a deadline, you'll be entered to win a prize. And we're not quite sure what the prizes are yet. I'm still working on that, but we're hoping it's going to be something somewhere in between like a mechanical keyboard and a computer, depending on the company that wants to sponsor the episode. but we're going to do giveaways. And like, if you build something and you turn it in by the date, we'll feature it in the show kind of stuff. Like, you know, we're working on all of that. And how do I talk about any of that right now? Like, where would you even go to find where the next episode is happening or any of that? And so you can go on my Discord right now, but like a lot of y'all I know aren't in the Discord, and everybody who is on Discord is using 900 Discords. And, you know, it's kind of, I think it would be a little arrogant of me to expect that people have notifications turned on for my Discord. So I think ultimately I need, one, I just need to be better about my newsletter. Like if people are on my newsletter, I can just send out details like these. So I need to tell people that the newsletter exists more often. So, you know, hey, you get on my newsletter. Go back to that Ben slide. Yeah. But so ultimately all of that is leading me to this need that I have, which is I need a place on the internet to showcase all of my projects, like everything that I'm working on. And so originally I thought like, okay, well, the blog will look like this, and then individual blog posts will look like this, and then like videos will look like this. I was like, you know, this is going to be a lot of work, and I don't know that this is going to do what I want it to do, right? And so then I started looking at like, what do other sites do? So if you've got a lot of different kinds of content, you've got like, here's Crunchyroll, here's Netflix, here's, what is this one? Paramount Plus, Hulu, Apple TV, Adult Swim, NBC, Peacock, Max, right? And like scanning over these, you can kind of see like there's a lot of similarities here where they've got sort of this big banner that sets the stage. What property are you looking at? Some details, and they're all saying subscribe. I'm not going to charge for subscriptions to watch the shows, so it'll be like watch the episode. Then you've got episodes. They do recommendations. I don't know if I'm going to do recommendations, but like description of the show, what it's about, you know, episodes, clips, and so on and so forth. Cast, I think, is cool down here. This one is a little more like stripped down. I think it's just clips. I don't know if you can watch this show online anymore, which is really a tragedy. If you can find this, you should watch it, because this show makes me so happy. It's like the Great British Bake Off, but it's crafting, and it's hosted by Nick Offerman and Amy Poehler. But then here, list of episodes, goes through the different seasons and such. This one, they did weird things with screen caps, but like these are, you can kind of see the shadows here. These are episodes, so they have each of the episodes listed, and then they've got this kind of like bonus feature, some trailers, stuff like that. Then they have the cast and crew down here, which I thought was great. The same deal here, like you've got a description of the show, you've got this kind of hero image, the episodes themselves, and same on here, you know? So I realized this is a pretty well-established pattern at this point. Like if you make a lot of video content and it's not all one video content, like if it's split into series, which is how I do my content, then you have these like series pages that are split up into episodes and seasons and so on and so forth. We're watching this right now, and it's also very good. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Very, very good. So anyways, this is kind of what I've been looking at, is doing it like this. So this is my vision for the next iteration of the Learn with Jason site. And the goal here is that each season, so to speak, or each series, sorry, would have its own kind of hero card. And we've got, you know, I'm making this little LWJ original thing aspirationally, because of course right now they're all LWJ originals, but my intention is, if I can grow this enough, I want other people to syndicate content. And that way we'd be able to kind of mark who the creator is. And then this banner for, like, you know, if we've got a new thing that you can win, you get the rules and all that kind of stuff, how to enter, so on and so forth. Then we've got the season. So each of the episodes we've got a schedule. If there's, new episodes coming, we've got who's in it. So you'll be able to see like who's participated in the show. So on something like Do It Anyways, it's just going to be me, or maybe I won't show it at all because it won't really be necessary if I'm the only person in the show. But on something like Web Lunch or Learn with Jason, each episode has a different person that I'm featuring. And so, putting them on here. And then if you, for example, click on like Rich Harris, it would go to a page for Rich that will have everything he's participated in. So you'd be able to see if he's been on Learn with Jason, if he's been on 4 Web Devs, and so on and so forth. Some credits down at the bottom. So this would be everybody who supports the show. And I noticed today, it looks like we have a new supporter. So Robert, thank you so much for joining. And for y'all, if you would like to support the show, there are a lot of ways to do that. The easiest one is to just like this episode, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, share anything I've made with your friends, because honestly, word of mouth is one of the best things that can happen. If you want to go further, you can join the YouTube channel. And the way that works is if you go to let's see, where is it? No, for that one. And head over to the channel page here, and then you can hit membership, and you've got the ability to join here. So I'll drop a link to that. And if you want to join and all that good stuff, that every penny that I make through YouTube, through Twitch subs, through Discord subs, GitHub sponsorships, all of that goes directly back into making the show better. I'm investing everything I got into trying to make this show as good as it possibly can be. So that is what, well, not that here. So that's what this will be, is information for like who's currently supporting the show. And I'll also probably put a link down here for like if you want to get involved. If the show has sponsors, if like in this one, in Do It Anyways, I'm the creator and editor, but like in 4 Web Devs, the editor is Jeff, Phase 1. In Learn with Jason, the editor is Chris Enns from Lemon Productions. So, and like in Web Lunch, for example, I have a director of photography, I have assistant camera and editor and stuff like that. So there's more crew. So like on one like this, it looks silly. On Web Lunch, it actually, there's like a lot of people involved in making that show work. So that's why I want to have credits down there. And then this will be a footer eventually. I haven't really thought about exactly what goes in that yet. But so all of that being said, this is what I want to build today. And so I think we can start by probably just mocking up the content, and I'm going to mock up the content by seeding a database probably, because that given everything that's in here, like hard coding that would suck, and it will look nice if we can see what's actually going on here. And that'll help us think about our data modeling and make sure that we're not missing any pieces. So the way that will work is, let's get into code here, and then let's see. These are, I've kind of got something going separately, but we'll start with a clean site. All right, so we're in my Learn with Jason folder, and I'm going to npx npm create Astro at latest. Where should we create your new project? We're going to create it at Netflix style Astro app. Cool. We'll go empty. I do want to write TypeScript. Install dependencies. Yes. What's up, learner? How you doing? Thanks for watching. Is Twitch still buffering? Like, are y'all having connectivity issues with it? What's up, Bridgewater? What's up, VDog? Guillaume? Is that right? Guillaume? I don't, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even tried. Mostly good for you. Yeah, Tony, I don't know. I'm not even, I'm not getting any note that like I'm having upload issues. So it does seem like maybe it's on your computer today. Only half paying attention, which is the right amount of attention to pay to me, I think. What's up, Mohammed? All right, so let me get the right banner up again. We're looking at this, and we've got our site. So I'm going to move into our Netflix style Astro app. Open that one up. Okay, and so looking in here, we've got real bare bones, not a lot going on here. And so what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to npx Astro add DB. So that's going to install the database here. It's going to create our DB folder, which we need. It's going to add the integration, which I need. And then I can npm run dev. And so let's actually set these up. I'm going to make this one full screen, and then I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to make this fit the other half here, and we're going to hide the UI so that I can kind of see what it is that we need to make real. And we're going to see how much of this I can do from memory, because it's going to be hard for me to Google around in this setup. It's going to be fine. So in our database, we've got our config here, and we're looking at our, this is how you define a database in Astro. So we're going to need some tables. And the first table is going to be for the series itself. And that's going to look something like this. I guess let's make it so it doesn't yell at us, and then we'll come back and add the actual pieces. Then we need an episode. And then, so here's something that, let's see, what else do we need here? So we've got our series, and then I want to do these in seasons. I want to be able to like group them, because I think one of the things I've noticed is that my shows have a tendency to like evolve over time, and a lot of times I can't do some of my bigger ideas because they would take too long. And so I've been thinking about trying to build in season breaks where I can sort of build a backlog of like all the stuff I want to do, and break on that season for a month or so, or 2 months, and then do all the fixes that I want, and then launch a new season with all the changes, so that it's, you know, we've got kind of like cohesive blocks of this is how things are working, and it lets me experiment in a kind of contained way. If I try something for a season and I feel like it's not working, hey, whatever, revert back to the old way. And it also lets me build in things like vacations, which right now vacations are hard for me because I'm streaming twice a week. Like next week, I'm going to be in London, so I'm not streaming, but that it feels like odd, right? Because it's not, it's like, it doesn't feel like it's, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but to me, it feels kind of odd to like stream every week, except on the weeks that you don't. You know, I feel like consistency is such a big thing. So having predefined breaks helps, you know, I guess make that consistency easier. And it lets me do things like, I never have time to make a trailer or make promos or things like that. It's never something I've been able to do. So for that, then we need seasons. And how is that going to work? Let's see. Would we just... Okay, so... And then we have the schedule can just be anything that's in the future. That should be fine. Then we have people. And I want everybody, I don't know if anybody caught this, but I want everybody to be able to get a profile on Learn with Jason for several reasons. One, I think I want to move joining Learn with Jason, like supporting the channel. I think I want to move it to an account like this for several reasons. One, the profit sharing on stuff like YouTube and Twitch is kind of skewed. It's like 60-40 or 50-50, or on Twitch it might even be like I get 30% of it. I don't know. It's not great. And if I do it through the Learn with Jason site, I basically pay a Stripe processing fee, and I get to control more of like what's visible, what's not, and I can give some additional benefits and stuff. I can hook this into the Discord, and like based on somebody's subscription level, we can do things like, I don't know, supporter only Q&A sessions in Discord, or some, whatever, like bonus content and stuff like that, all of which is, I think it'll just make things easier if I've got like one spot where I'm recommending people support. And it also makes it easier for me with bonus content. Like right now, if you sub on, or if you join on YouTube, you get access to bonus content. If you join on Twitch, you don't. And I don't like that. I want it to be, I don't know. I don't exactly know how all this works. And I suppose changing anything is always a risk, because you make a change and then suddenly everybody is like, I didn't like you that much. Like, I like you, but not enough to change locations. Like, we'll find out. But let's see. Astro DB is SQLite. It's a fork of SQLite called libSQL. So it is effectively SQLite, but it's it's a fork. It's the same fork used by Terso, if you are familiar with that. It is Terso's version. Find someone and stream from London. I am not going live, but I am filming 4 episodes of Web Lunch while I'm in London, so stay tuned for those. What will I use for auth on this? I'm going to use, I'm going to use Clerk. I thought you weren't going to be able to make it in. If you're around in London, definitely hit me up, because I'll be there all next week. I think I get in on like Monday. I do have a busy schedule, but I am definitely down to meet up with folks if they're around. So, okay. We've got our series, we've got our episodes, we've got our users, and we will need... So if you sign up for, and this will also help me with guests, because, sometimes you get a new headshot. Sometimes you change the URL of your personal site, or you decide that you do or don't want to send people to Twitter or Instagram or whatever. And right now, I think people are kind of just stuck, like they just have to deal with whatever I've put up on the site. And if I change that to have a profile, then anybody who wants to, if they care enough, could log in and update their profile to like change their headshot or whatever. So should be, dev stuff for these new changes. That is also very helpful. Have a great time. Thank you. I have been to London a few times. I've got a lot of good friends there. I'm really excited to see them. And I'm excited about CityJS. Don't tell them, but I haven't started my talk yet. I've got a good idea though. I'll write it on the plane like I always do, But I hope no conference organizers are watching right now. Okay, so we have, I think that's kind of all we need for now. So then we need to link these up. And so a series is going to have a title, which will be a column of text. We're also going to need an ID, because we need to be able to link these, and we want that to be the primary key. So that'll keep it both unique and also makes it something that we can index on. We'll need a slug for the URL. And like I could probably do that a different way, but I'm not gonna because it's just easier for me. I like to choose the slugs because I have feelings about the way that like articles and stuff like that are handled in slugs. So I make my life harder. And then we've got, what else do we got? We've got we'll need the image. I'm going to use like database style snake case naming. We have the, oh, you know what we're also going to need? We're going to need a table called sponsor. And then we're also going to need, because this is a relational database, we're going to need like a, what's it called? It's got an actual name. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a relationship table. So this is going to be is it going to be episode or series? Ooh. I'm going to need both, I think, because sometimes the whole series is sponsored and sometimes one episode at a time is sponsored. Oh boy, how does this work? Intersection table sounds right. Yes, slugs are supposed to be unique. That's a good call. And let's see. So we need a... What if I just call it a sponsor map? And then we have the series, and that would be like a column text, and it would be relation references, and that's going to be series columns ID. And then we would have, oh, but then we need to make that optional. Is this going to work? This feels like this is going to be chaotic. Let's see if I can make this work, and then we'll, this would be episode, columns, ID, and optional true. Now I need one of those to be set, and then we would have our sponsor, and that would be, oops, column.text references. Oh no, what have I done? References, and that would be sponsor, columns, ID, and optional true. Okay, and then these are yelling at me because I haven't set up the ID key, so we can do that really quick. All of these are going to have an ID because we need relationships. So then if I set this up, the sponsor is not optional. That's got to be set. Okay, so we have our sponsor map. One or the other of these needs to be set. And I don't know if there's a better way to do this. If anybody is if anybody knows, let me know. But yeah, I don't know. So the idea would be then that I can, and I guess like it kind of doesn't matter if I put this in wrong and there's like a sponsor with no references, it would just not show up. So it would be a wasted entry in the table, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't like break anything. And then theoretically, well, I don't know. Maybe the right idea is to, let's see, should I use two tables, sponsor episode and sponsor season? because that might be a better way to do it, is like have 2 tables, and that way there's more of a guarantee. Like you are adding something because they are sponsoring a series, because they are sponsoring an episode. That feels, this makes me nervous. Like having 2 pieces that are optional makes me feel like I shouldn't do that. So why don't we just go with my gut here that this is going to suck if I do it the other way. And we will get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. And then we'll change this one to be series. Get rid of this and get rid of this. And now they'll both be there. And I'll just, for the episode query, I'll check to see if there are any sponsors associated with the episode. For the series query, I'll check to see if there are any sponsors associated with the series. The queries themselves are simpler. The margin for error is smaller. I can't accidentally insert a broken row, for example. Feels more verbose, but I'm kind of okay with that. I think it's fine. So then, and the reason I'm doing it this way is that there's a many-to-many relationship. Like, for example, if like Clerk sponsored multiple episodes of 4 Web Devs, but not the whole series, and like Netlify sponsors the whole series of Learn with Jason, but has also sponsored some other things, and like I need to be able to create the relationships of who has sponsored what and in what way. And because it's SQL, there's not like an array type, like, so you can't say something like I want this to exist, but it doesn't exist yet, where you could do something like this and say, it's an array of column text references and then get to the sponsors. I wish that worked, but it doesn't work. So now we've got our series, and let's see, that's got a title. We need a description. And that one's going to be multi-line. And then we have, let's see, title description. Title description. Do I want to bother coding this yet? Let's see, we've got our sponsors coming in from the pivot. Is it a pivot table? It's not a pivot table. Intersection table, whatever it is. Then we've got individual episodes. The individual episodes have a title and a description and a slug. And this is going to be a thumbnail. And then I have to decide how this is going to work. So we'll go with, you can put in a YouTube ID. I guess we'll make that optional, because for some of these, like the do it anyways, I actually just kind of want to put these up on Mux and host them on my site, because right now I'm putting them on YouTube so that people can see them, but I'm unlisting them because they're such a departure from my code content that I don't want to confuse people that I've like changed my channel. And also, like the way the YouTube algorithm works is it shows things to people that it have liked your previous stuff, and then if those people like it, it like shows it to more people. And if your content is so all over the place, then the people that liked one episode or one show won't necessarily like the other. And so if I'm pushing like this content about content creation and practice and stuff to people who want to learn about code, they won't like it. And then what I don't want is for YouTube to go, I don't know, people don't really like your stuff, so we're not going to show it to anybody. I am going to be putting this on Astro DB, which is their new offering. And I'm excited to show y'all how this works, because it's so nice to work with. Let's see. Intersection tables are for many-to-many relationships. One-to-many relationships are handled by putting a reference from the table that can be many to a unique key on the table. It can, yeah. Yes, exactly. And in our case, sponsors are going to be many-to-many. If we add tags, which I don't know if I'll keep tags, Actually, answer me this, y'all. For anybody who's watching, do you ever use the tags on Learn with Jason right now? Do you even know what I'm talking about? So on any given episode, I have these tags, and if you click through, you can find any content that's on Astro. But I don't know if anybody uses these. I should probably check my analytics and see if anybody uses them. But yeah, I have a bunch of that stuff, and it does show up in search. Like if you search for software architecture, for example, there's a whole software architecture page that talks about just anytime we talk about like how you might build an app, I categorize it under there. But yeah, I have no idea if anybody knows. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was worried about. If I decide to put tags back in, they will be a many-to-many relationship as well. So let's see. Does Astro DB allow external access, like from a backend, or is it only accessible via Astro? That's a great question. I haven't tried yet. I am currently planning on using it all as. Oh no. Yeah. See, this is the problem. Keeping the tags. Yeah. We'll. All right. I will. I mean, I feel bad destroying data, and since the shows currently have all of these tags already added, it feels like it would be bad to just dump them. What's up, Potty One? Oh, this is a good one. How do you deal with a close colleague leaving company? I don't know, man. It's hard. I think when, like, I've been at a few companies where we lost people that I just absolutely loved. And, you know, for example, when I was at Netlify, Sarah Drasner was my boss. And then when she left, I was so close to just leaving at the same time, because I was like, there's no way this is going to be the same without her here. And I was right. But at the same time, like, it gave Sarah and I a chance to be friends without the professional relationship. So we just got to be people. And I think we ended up getting closer as a result. Like we talk more often, and she doesn't have to worry about, you know, whether or not she can joke with me because I report to her or something. We can just like joke with each other. So I do think there are ups and downs, right? Like working together means that you see a lot of each other. Not working together means that you don't have to worry about like arbitrary work rules. You can define friendship rules, and I think that's good. But yeah, it definitely won't be the same. Leaving a company after just 1 month, I think if it's a bad fit, the earlier you leave, the better, because if it's not working, it's very rare that it feels like it's not working in one direction. It usually feels like it's not working in both. And the longer that sense of disconnection goes on, the higher the risk of it turning into resentment. And that can burn the goodwill in the relationship. It can burn the referral. It can burn you out. And none of those are good outcomes. Like there are very few good outcomes for sticking with something that feels bad. Obviously, make sure you've got some options lined up. Like, you know, it's depending on how bad it is, sometimes it can be better to just get out, like if it's really bad. But if it's just not exactly what you wanted, start looking for something else, and be really clear with your manager that like you're not getting what you expected, and that it feels like it's maybe not the best fit after all. I don't know. It's very hard, but yeah, if you're feeling like it's not going to work, don't try to stick it out, because that will end worse. Rejoined your previous company. Oh, that's hard. Yeah. Like, especially if you've got some preconceived notions of like how the company used to be and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, that's really tough. But yeah, what Tony says here, like if it's unfair to everybody to stay because you're unhappy, the company's not getting they're not getting your best. There's probably guilt there. There's probably resentment there. Like it's not, very few good things come from it. So let's get back to this build. So we've got our episode, and then that would mean that we also need the media URL if there's not if it's not YouTube. Or I guess what we can do is we can actually have both, and if there's media URL, we'll use that. If there's not, we'll fall back to the YouTube ID. If there's both a media URL and a YouTube ID, then we can play the video and have like or watch this on YouTube link that'll let you go there if that's where you prefer to be. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And then what else do I need here? I've got my description. Probably need like a resources, and that would be a column.json. And that would be for like on Learn with Jason episodes, there's always a list of links. And so being able to drop those in as an array as opposed to just plain text or something where I'd have to either parse it with Markdown or just spit the plain text out, feels not ideal. Okay, I'll talk about this for a minute. What do I think of all the AI stuff? I think that this isn't the first time that we've had a technological shift that made people really nervous about like human creativity. Like even with the printing press, there was a lot of fear that it eliminated human creativity because, everybody would just read the same words and all that. And I also think, we maybe overestimate, what's the right way to say this? I don't think we don't watch TV because it looks realistic. We watch it because it's got a great story. We'll watch things that look terrible if we like the story. And for that reason, like, I think there are ways that this will get used that are not great. There's a lot of cost cutting. Like I'm seeing people, they're generating images for their course graphics or their promotional stuff. And that sucks because they're not hiring artists. But the fact of the matter is they weren't hiring artists before. Like before they were just stealing an image off Google Images. So there's a certain amount of like, I understand the fear, but at the same time, like, I also think it increases the value of artists because if I'm trying to stand out from a wave of competitors who are putting out the same garbage and they're all using generated images that all kind of have that like odd, ultra smooth AI look, then hiring a real artist is an immediate chance to differentiate and to stand out from a sea of stuff that all looks like AI generated junk. So I think there's a way to look at this that doesn't feel doom and gloom, which is honestly that, like, for people who have the vision, you can use this as an opportunity, like something that is obviously made by people with care that has a personality and a real story is going to stand out even more when, if everybody's using the same tools, everything gets homogenized. It all starts to sound the same. It starts to look the same, starts to feel the same. And nobody wants to watch the same thing over and over and over again. We want to watch stuff that feels new. We're very novelty driven as a species. So being creative is probably more at a premium than it was when stuff like AI didn't exist. Yeah, I don't know. I am 100% sure it's going to affect how things work and how people operate, but I don't think that it's the like end of human creativity like it gets painted up to be sometimes. Oh man, what a bummer for everybody named Devin when like earlier when Cody came out, like everybody named Cody. Well, and I think like, you know, you got to remember where the incentives are. So when the CEO of NVIDIA comes out and says, don't learn to program, like the CEO of NVIDIA makes more money if you trust the GPUs to do the programming for you, right? Like there's always a reason that somebody says the things that they say. And for somebody like the CEO of NVIDIA, it's his job to believe that GPUs are going to continue to be the most like precious human resource out there. And AI lives on GPUs. That's why NVIDIA's stock is at like almost $1,000 or whatever it is. All of those things, like they can both have a nugget of truth and be highly profit motivated when somebody says them. And I think that, you know, for somebody to say don't go into programming, I guess that's true in the sense that like you also probably shouldn't go into like coal manufacturing. But that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of like for people who are into this, who want to do this as a career, there's a lot of opportunity. It's maybe not the same gold rush that it was before, where you could learn just enough to get by as a coder and then get a job like stamping out code in a Fiverr situation and like make a little bit more money than you would as an Uber driver. Like I think that era might be ending, where we're figuring out how to do the like grunt work code. But I don't think that, I don't know. I think it's hard to talk about this stuff without making it seem like I'm dismissing areas of like big areas of concern or big areas of expertise. But I think that, yeah, I guess I think the drive here is we're pushing narratives that sound very hyperbolic to me. Like I think that, I don't know. Like one of the things that I think about a lot is like there's this podcast that I listened to years ago that was it was a comedy podcast, but it was about like the history of women in transportation. What was it called? The Dollop. So this is it's a comedy podcast, but it's very, very good because it talks about like all the ridiculous things that we believed as technology advanced about women in particular, where like there was a belief that women shouldn't be able to get on trains because their uterus might fly out of their body due to the sudden acceleration changes, right? And a lot of times when people talk about new technology, it feels that ridiculous to me, where we're saying that because something has changed, clearly we're all in danger. And I think that is very rarely the actual truth. I think that if you stick your head in the sand and refuse to learn anything and like hope it all goes away, yeah, you're in danger. Like time continues, like things will continue to change and we always have to adapt. And we've been adapting. Like, you know, think about how much over the course of your career you do things differently today than you did when you first started. And all of those have been adaptations to change. And some of it is stuff that you learned, like new techniques, and some of it is stuff that legitimately changed. I never thought I would be a TypeScript person, but at the beginning of my career, TypeScript didn't exist. In the middle of my career, TypeScript was new, but it was like kind of janky and didn't really solve problems that I had. And today, we've evolved as an industry to where TypeScript is kind of the standard for how you start most new projects because that's what's baked into all the templates. So I could have said, no, I'll never use TypeScript, and then, spent time at the beginning of every project sort of backing it out and making sure that I wasn't writing any TypeScript. That's a perfectly valid thing to do, but it would make my life harder, right? And I think that AI is going to be the same thing. Like, you don't have to steer into it like it's the end all be all, like the whole world has changed and now all we do is AI. But at the same time, I also don't think that you just steer away from it and say there is no use for AI. It's a fad. It's a hype bubble. It's gonna go away. I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. There are a lot of really valid use cases for AI. I actually saw somebody say this a minute ago. Yeah, Lerner was just talking about this. Like there are a lot of real world use cases for AI where it is valuable. Like there are things that it can do that help us. That being said, a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to trust AI, why it's not the right choice for everything and anything. But yeah, I think the like take a measured approach to this stuff and look at where it can be useful and don't try to make it useful where it's not. And recall that like all technology is really only valuable in as far as people believe it's valuable. And that means that a lot of what we're creating is going to be like, I think like they talk about computers as like a bicycle for the mind, right? And I've heard somebody say the same thing about AI as being like a bicycle for the mind. And I think that is sort of the way that I look at it, is it in the same way that the difference between handwriting or hand typing code into stacks, like there's that NASA scientist, what was her name? Margaret something, standing next to all the code for one of the moon missions. And it's like a stack of paper as tall as she is. That transition to today, where we can write code and we have our IDEs and we've got autocomplete and we've got TypeScript and we've got testing libraries and you know all these things that just make us faster. We could pretend that was regression, but ultimately it was stuff that made us more effective at doing our jobs. And if we can get to the point where AI takes more of the grunt work out and helps us, I don't know, scaffold our tests or identify missing edge cases or explain source code when we first get hired onto a team and give us context of like how this code is being used so that it's less likely that we look at code and say, well, this must be legacy code because I don't understand it. All of those things seem like good things to me. And none of them are taking jobs away from programmers. It's just making us more effective in the same way that something like TypeScript did. So that's sort of the view that I'm taking on this. Is I think there's a lot of opportunities here that will they'll yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Fast data analysis, I think, is probably the right way to look at it. Like having like fuzzy logic searches, that's something that is really, really hard to build and really, really difficult to implement. But AI sort of excels at it, is like pulling, you know, like it's, you said this, which is conceptually related to this, which is, you know, it could mean this. So we did a search for all of those things and brought back everything that might be relevant. Like what a great search interface, right? If it's not generating responses, but rather retrieving data. To me, that's what's really interesting. I don't really want it to give me a summary. I want it to find all the related pieces. And, you know, I mean, it can give me a summary. I don't care. But like, I want to be able to see where the data came from, not say like, hey, what's this date? Why is this date significant? And then it makes something up based on what it thinks is true. And it's like right 80% of the time. That sort of stuff is less interesting to me. I love that. What's my backup plan? Like, you mean if something goes wrong with, and I'm wrong about AI? I mean, my backup plan has always been to just open a food truck. Like, I'm ready. They keep trying to get robots to cook and they can't, so I got it covered. Let's see. The concern that women would, what the hell is bicycle face? I don't even know. Oh my goodness. The thing that concerns me the most is that this was stuff that was said by doctors. There are medical texts that said something to the effect of like, the womb is a separate creature that lives inside of a woman, and like, if the woman isn't, what was it? Like, if the woman makes too violent emotion, the womb can attack. It's just absolutely absurd stuff that people would say. And they would say it with such authority. And that's how I feel about a lot of new technology, is like, it's people who don't really understand what they're talking about saying these really confident proclamations. Is there a ton of potential? Absolutely. Are there ways that life is going to change that we haven't predicted yet? Yes. Is it going to end life as we know it? Absolutely not. Like, we've been through these apocalyptic times so many times throughout history, and technology is technology. They're all scary, and they all ultimately change life a little bit, and life goes on. Yeah, like using AI to manage tests, I think is great. All code is legacy code. Yes. What sort of legacy do you want to leave? I think is a great way. It enhance our thinking to develop things better, solve problems quicker. I think that's great. Robotics, I think, is interesting. I am kind of curious what's going to happen with robotics. I feel like so this is where things enter into a like a fairly political landscape, because I do think it's an inevitability that we're going to be able to eliminate human labor with robots. Like, they can lift boxes. They are more precise. They're, like, the idea of having a human being that has to like schlep heavy crap across a concrete warehouse, it just doesn't feel realistic on a long enough time horizon, given how much we're seeing improve with different forms of robotics. So if we eliminate human labor, like blue collar labor, what does that mean? Because then there aren't really any jobs, right? And so then what we keep saying is that AI unlocks this like post-labor future, and you'll hear people, billionaires especially, love to talk about the idea of like what happens when the robots make it so that nobody has to work anymore. And what I always want to know is, at what point do we expect that the people who are currently making that kind of money and not funding social programs, do we expect that they're suddenly going to be okay with that? And that, like, when they've removed the need, like when Jeff Bezos figures out how to fully automate Amazon warehouses, which are currently a huge source of employment in the United States, and they figure out how to automate the drivers so that the delivery is, a little automated van pulls up in front of your house and a little drone flies it to your front door. We don't need delivery drivers anymore. We don't need warehouse workers anymore. Do we expect that Jeff Bezos is just going to start paying universal basic income? Do we expect they're going to start paying taxes so that the government can do universal basic income? Or do they just expect that, like, what do they expect to happen, right? Like, that's the thing that I worry about with all of this, is that like, there is a utopian future in here where we eliminate the need for people to do shitty jobs, and everybody gets enough, everybody gets enough money to live. And then you can opt in to doing different types of work if you want to do more, if you want to have more money or more access to things. But so far, we have shown that we're not willing to do, like, we're not even willing in the United States to, like, give people health care unless they can afford. I think Aaron Francis posted for his family, it was like $3,500 a month for health insurance in the United States. I know that for me and my wife, who have no pre-existing conditions and as healthy as you can be as a 40-year-old, it's like $1,000 a month for us to have health insurance. And that's assuming we don't make any claims against it, right? And we still got deductibles and all those sorts of things. So I guess I'm far less concerned about the technology destroying humanity. I'm far more concerned about the owners of the technology destroying humanity when they refuse to, like, if what they're doing is building robots so that they can stop paying people, and their expectation is that, like, when they're done doing that, they'll just get all of the money and, like, hide on an island so that we can't revolt or whatever. That seems more concerning to me. Like, I have this fear that we're going to get, like, a second space station that's just full of billionaires who want to hide from the people that they've screwed over. Anyways, that's what a rabbit hole. Should we go back to building some code? Did I design this page? Yes, I did design this page. This is my new Learn with Jason website design. Yeah. All right, Salma. Let's see. Every revolution creates new jobs. And I think you're right that every revolution creates new jobs, but the one of the things that they talk about is like the disappearing middle class. And what I worry about is the disappearing, like, any class but upper class. Because if we make it so that all of the jobs, like if every job you could get out of high school is automatable, like if the checkout lines are self-checkout, they're done by a robot. If your delivery is being done by robots, if warehouse work is being done by robots, if the box stores all close and become warehouses that are run by robots, like, where do you get a job as a teenager? Where do you get a job if you don't have a college degree, if you don't have like a technical skill set, if all of those jobs go to robots? Because, like, the robots will be more efficient at digging ditches. The robots will be more like, what do you do? And if they finally succeed in what they're trying to do, which is like making stuff like McDonald's run on robots, I just don't know what you do as a teenager to get your first job, to start building job experience. So I know that new jobs will be created, but I worry about that type of job. Like, what's the first job for somebody who doesn't have job experience, who needs to build that kind of stuff? And that's where my concern kind of comes in. But so, master plan on figure. Oh boy. But yeah, like UBI, I think, is one of those things that it feels like the sort of thing that if we want this future to exist that the billionaires are selling, where like the AI takes away all the stuff we don't want to deal with, we need to hold them accountable for actually paying enough taxes that, like, we can live that life, right? Because if they say the only way you can live is by doing work, and the only work you can do, we've replaced you with robots, what does that mean? Like, what are you at that point? I'm not 40 until next year. That's not. Hold on. Damn it, that's true. I am 40 next year. Yeah, healthcare in the UK, like, for now. Yeah, not ideal right now, but so. Well, this is sort of what I worry about, is that the people who have sort of got the, like, to accumulate $1 billion sort of necessitates not sharing. Like, you have to be taking labor from people and not redistributing that wealth to accumulate those levels of money. And if that's the past behavior is the best indication of future behavior, why would we expect that these people would suddenly decide to take care of us? Like, they're not going to do it unless it's going to require something like regulations, and we know how that works. So I don't know, man. I have a lot of fears about how this is gonna happen. Robot supervisor is definitely probably a job, like somebody whose job it is to follow the robots around and like restart them when they hitch or whatever. Yeah, like not paying taxes is a whole thing. Like, somebody put up a chart yesterday where it showed like executive compensation versus taxes, and like a company like Tesla has paid out billions in executive compensation and like paid negative money in taxes, so they got paid by the government. Feels bad. Like, I don't know. It worries me a little bit that I don't know. I don't know that regulation will make things any better, because I think in the current form of government, regulation tends to be half measures that like work against the people that need the help and don't work against the people that didn't. So who knows? Anyways, let's write some code. So you say regulations, I say guillotines. Look, I am not advocating for anything, but I do have concerns that if we don't find a way to solve it with regulation, people will find other means to solve problems because it feels like it's getting bad out there. Anyways, all right. So let's figure out what our user table needs. I think our user table needs, it's going to need a username. That's going to be a column.text that is unique. And then we're going to need, we'll go with a display name. And that'll be column text. Then we're going to have, what else do we need? I guess we'll put a little bio in there. Text, we'll go with multi-line true. And then what else do we get in here? These will all be fine. We'll just kind of leave that as is. And then what else do we need? We need an avatar URL. That'll throw that up on Cloudinary or something. Then we need, that'll be text. And you don't need one of those. We'll figure out a way to do a default. And then we need, let's go with like, probably need social stuff, so Twitter URL. And then we'll just repeat that for, let's see, Insta, YouTube, LinkedIn, GitHub. Anywhere else? YouTube. Let me know if I'm missing one that I should include here. Oh, we need like their website. What was the other one I said? Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, GitHub. And then we need their website. Okay. Those all feel good. Yep, and then we're going to need our intersection table because users can be on multiple shows, shows can have multiple users. Yep, so we're going to go with a user episode, and that will be user is going to be references columns ID. And then we're going to do the same thing with the episode. Okay. How do we feel about this? So we've got an ability to get, let's just recap. So we've got a series. That's this piece up here. The series has a name, description, it's got sponsors, etc. We have episodes that live within that series. And then I haven't figured out how we're going to do seasons. Because that would imply see, how much do I want to try to automate this versus set avatar URL to Boolean? Whoops. Good catch. So if a series can have multiple seasons, and the seasons are just going to be sequential, right? So then in here, I would need, can I just do a, okay, so what I need is I need the series, I need the season number, and I need the episode number. So that's inside the series. We know that it's season 1, episode 1. And then, we number the episodes. So I could do series as a column.text with references. Don't do whatever you're doing. References to the season dot columns dot ID. Sorry, series is why that was doing that. And then we could do like season number, but then this sucks because then you're doing like that. I hate that. That's not right. So I think I don't like it, but I think I need a season. Okay, columns, and then this is going to have an ID, which will be one of these, and then it'll have a number, which will be column number, and then it'll have a series, which will be a reference to the series. Okay. I don't know that I love that, but I guess it's fine. And so then in here, we would do season. Right? Because then the episode belongs to a season, the season belongs to a series. We can do automatic episode numbering based on date. And the season numbering is a convenience thing. It's not like hard data or anything. Yeah, you were right, Tony. I should just read the chat. Has there always been chat on Twitter? It's been there, but it's hard to find. Like, you can get into the chat on Twitter if you click into the broadcast and your window is wide enough, then you can see the chat window on the right. Don't apply a series in the episode. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to, because we get because a season must belong to a series and an episode must belong to a season. So we get the relationship is there. Should work. Okay. So this, I think, is good enough for experimentation. Well, this is sort of what I'm worried about, is like the seasons themselves need to belong to a series. And if I'm defining the seasons in the episodes, then we've got that duplicate data of, well, and I guess I also want, like, would be year, because you want the release date for the season. And then that could actually take over for the number. We would just order them by year. And then do I need like a description or anything? Let's leave that open. Because, like, for example, on the Great British Bake Off, they have different hosts and judges on different seasons. And so this seems like the right place to store that information. I currently don't have that problem, but I could pretty easily extend this in the future to include, like we could do an intersection table for a season to user to mark hosts or something. I guess we'd have two, one for judges, one for hosts, contestants, etc. We could do a lot in there. Include the season ID on the episode. We've got the season ID on the episode here. So we'll be able to, so we'll be able to do a query for the series, for the series. We'll be able to get all the seasons, and then we'll be able to do a subquery for the current season, the currently displayed seasons episodes, all as part of one big join if we wanted to. What's up, James? What about things like Christmas specials or one-off episodes? Great question. I would guess that I don't know. What does that mean? I guess you would create like a standalone season. And then you would need some kind of label for it. But I feel like I'm going to cross that bridge when I come to it, because what I think what I would imagine is like you would have a season title, because you could even call it like collection, right? Like maybe we should call it collection, because then why don't we do that? We'll call it collection, because if I have a collection of episodes, it could be a season, or it could be holiday specials, or it could be behind the scenes or something like that. Like a one-off season. And that would be, so then that would give you like a name. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to add in the name yet, but if I need to, at this point, even if I had every single thing I've ever made, there would be like 7 seasons. So if I decide to go back and update with data later, I don't need to get it right now. Tub stream. There was this running joke for a long time in my team at Netlify, because Phil Hawksworth, which if you don't know Phil is a delightful human. You should absolutely find Phil and do, give him a follow, a thumbs up, give him some shit. But Phil is a delightful human being, and he went on vacation somewhere, and while he was there, he was just trying to be nice to the team, and he sent us this photo of him on vacation. But the photo was of him holding a charcuterie plate while he was in a hot tub. And it's like the most innocent photo ever, and we have never let him live it down. So anyways, hot tub charcuterie has been a running joke for us for years now. So anyways, okay, so I feel like we're good enough here. We've got a series, we've got a collection that holds episodes, we've got episodes that go into collections that belong to series. We have users, which will be the host, the guest, the judge, somebody watching, whatever you want to do. We have the mapping of which users were on which episodes. We have sponsors. We need to have the actual data for these. So we need a name, and that's going to be column.text. We need the link, and that's going to be column.text. We need the logo URL, that's going to be column.text. Do I need anything else? Name, link, logo. And then down here, we map sponsors to series or episodes, depending on what they're doing. And let's see, yeah, you would want to be able to click on this. Right, okay. Then we need to actually drop all these in here. So we have our series, we have our C collection.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, I said something that sounded too close to Siri, and now she wants to talk. Sorry, just kidding. And then we have our episode. We have our user, and then we have all of these ones that I need to series, collection, episode, user, user episode, sponsor, sponsor series, sponsor episode. And of course, none of those actually okay, did I get them all? 1, 2, a lot of tables. Stop helping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's our tables. And that's going to be good enough. And that's the halfway point of our stream. So, oh boy, let's see if we can keep going here. Then I want to open up the seed, and we want to put some stuff in here. So we're going to await db.insert, and we're going to put something into series, for example. We're going to put in values, and that is an array. And here's a cool thing. It's just going to let me autocomplete all this stuff because Astro is neat. So for the IDs, what can I do here? I'm going to pull up like UUID generator, and we'll throw in UUIDs. Then we have our title, and we'll call this one, let's do it anyways. Then we've got the slug. Description. I had a description on this already, so just throw that one on there. Okay. And finally, the banner image. And my banner image I don't have yet, so let's export that from Figma. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make this bigger for a minute, and then we're going to show the UI. I'm going to find this top banner. There's the actual... Okay. Set up the export. We'll export it as a JPEG. Okay, and then we can go to Cloudinary. And inside here we can, let's see, where's this going to live? Let's put this in. We'll just make a new folder. We'll call it series. Then we'll throw this in, copy it, and make this smaller again. And what I'm going to do is set this to be F auto, Q auto, And that's probably good enough for now, so we're going to save that. And that'll be one of the series. So then we can do, I'm just going to do the one series for now, because otherwise this is going to get far too complicated to finish in the next 90 minutes that we have. So then the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to set up a collection. And the collection needs an ID, so we'll generate one of these. And then we need the series, which is going to be this one.
For what time?
Oh my goodness, just hush yourself. And finally, we need the year, and this one is 2024. Oh, that's... Is that going to work? Might work. Let's find out. Okay, so then that one's going to be happy. Then we're going to set up a episode, and we need a new UUID. And this one needs a collection, which is going to be this one here. All right, and then we need a title, and do it like that. We'll get a description, and I have these all open anyways, so we can just grab a few of them if I can get this to scroll. There we go. Okay. We'll go with, oh, I need to make resources optional. We're going to go with YouTube ID. And I can find that by going up here. And then we need our slug. Our thumbnail, which, let's just throw it into Cloudinary. I could probably do this more easily other ways, but I'm not going to stress about it. So there's that one. We're going to copy the URL. And again, we'll set a F auto and a Q auto, and that just sets the format and quality to be whatever is determined to be the best quality. And then I need that resources to be optional. So we're going to go down to resources, and we're going to set that to be optional true. And then when I open up Seed again, it's not going to yell at me anymore because we don't need that field anymore. Okay, so let's set up 2 of these so that we've got a couple episodes. And so we'll get a different UUID generator. It's the same collection though. And oh, you know what I need in here is the date for the episode. And we should, I'm going to call this publish date so that it's clear that it's not like when it was created, it's when it went live. Okay, so then that means these are going to need a date, and that's going to be a new date. And for that to work, let's see, this one went live 2024, 03, 20. 5. And it went live at, I don't know, let's call it, I think I put it up at like 9 p.m. last night. And I am in Pacific time. Why are you angry? No overload matches of this call. Is that just because I don't have it on both? No, you're still unhappy. What are you unhappy about? Descriptions, log money. That's supposed to be a date. Oh, it's published date. It's published date. There you go. Now you're happy. And this one would have been on the 23rd. Was that Friday? 22nd. Okay. And then that one was called No Regrets. Drop that one in there. Isn't data entry fun, everyone? Okay, and then we need to upload the thumbnail, which I think is close enough. It's not, so we're going to find this one over here. Okay, so then we've got this one. Okay, so that's two episodes in a collection, which is in a series. And then we need, what else do we need? We need to set up a user. So let's set me up. And I will have, let's see, an ID. And my ID needs to be also a UUID. Then we've got my username. Got a display name. We need a bio. And then the rest of this stuff is kind of optional for now, so why don't we leave it out for now? And we'll come back to that if and when we need it today. Then we've got, what else? What other columns do we need here? We've got our user, we've got our user episode. All right, so let's associate me with those 2 episodes. And we're going to have the user, which is me, and the episode, which is going to be this one. And then we'll duplicate the whole thing. And get this one. Okay. And then am I going to set up sponsors today? I think I'm not going to set up sponsors yet because Do It Anyways doesn't have sponsors, and that also makes my life easier because it's one less thing that we've got to deal with right now. But so this then gives us our local database, and it's seeding it. And so basically what we've done at this point is we've set up the structure of our database, right? And then here we are putting like test values into our database. So then if I head out to our index page, I can, let's see, let's make this a little bit simpler because we're going to need, we're going to call this default, and that will be just a standard page like this. And we'll come back and deal with all of that later. But for now, this is going to be fine. Did I accidentally copy paste? I did. So we'll save that, and then we'll come back out here. And this is all going to get replaced with our layout from layouts default. So then we do layout and Netflix style app, close out our layout, and let's head over to that page. Okay, so we are now kind of at the basics of where we want to be. I'm going to let's start with the easy stuff. Let's import our database and our series from Astro DB. And down here, I'm going to const series equals await DB select from series. And then we can JSON stringify the series. Invalid time value. Okay, so I screwed this up last time too. It's probably in seed, and I would bet that it's this. That looks right to me. Invalid time values. Date to ISO string. What if I just take one of these? Invalid time value. What? Why don't you like my... That's not right, right? It's supposed to be like that is correct. Yes? How dare you? I don't know. I don't know why that didn't work. But anyways, it's fine now. Everything is okay. So, okay, we've got our series showing up. So now we could do a listing of our series. And oops. Let's get back to that page. And then I want to, let's see if we can figure out how to join stuff. Anybody remember what the difference is between these? Am I late? Depends. How much do you enjoy watching me struggle with databases? Because if that's what you're into, you are right on time. Let's see if I can get this to work. I'm going to go with an inner join. And the table that I need to inner join on is collection. That doesn't work. Okay, so how does inner join work? Table on. And I think that needs to be series, or no. Yeah, series ID, collection, series. Yeah. All right, okay. And then we inner join episode on collection ID and episode collection. Yes, look at us go. Okay, so this is fine, but I don't love it. What's up, Ben? Yeah, exactly. I've done enough with databases that like all of this is sort of ringing little bells for me, but I truthfully, it just does not stick in my brain. But here's what I think I can do. I think I can give fields. So I can select, oh, this is going to be interesting. So I can select the ID because I might need that. And that's going to be series ID. Then I can select collections, which is going to be, how does that work? There's a way to make this work. Collection, because what I'm trying to do is think about how I can alias this. I would just ask the chat. That's a great idea. Chat, you remember how to do this? Let's look at like the drizzle docs, because I don't know. I feel like the drizzle docs always feel like being told by somebody way smarter than me, like all the things I don't know. But let's see if I can figure it out. Joins. I saw joins. So right, and I understand that, but is there a way to alias things? So you can just throw full SQL in there, but I don't know that I want that. But maybe this is what I want. And does that give me an array? Aggregating results. Rows, DB select, left join pets. Where did pets come from though? Oh, ask ChatGPT. So this is what I want, is this like result with an array. So if I do that, no way that's gonna work. So I'm gonna try it and it's gonna fail. It sort of worked. It like duplicated. Okay, so what did it do? Oh, they're doing this like after the fact, right? User and pets. User row, user pet. So then you're setting up. Okay, so all right, we can just do it with like JavaScript. Wants the font style that I'm using. This is the Operator Mono font in the Night Owl theme. I think I have all that on my... Yeah, I have that all in here. At some point I'll actually update this page because a lot of this is incorrect, or not incorrect, like I have used all this stuff, but a lot of it is not what I'm using today. Okay, so for me to do what I want, it looks like I need to map all this stuff. References, city ID, name, yeah. Crap. Where chat groups ID. Right, and then I would have some kind of setup there. So that'll probably be an index by slug or something, because I don't really want like UUIDs. I could set the slug to be the primary key. I don't know. Maybe worry about that later. Okay, so we're linking up based on like the collections and all that. So then I guess what I would need to do is we would do like a mapped series, or I don't know, we'll call it reduced data. Why don't we do it like this? Because I want to work off of series. And we'll say this is going to be the data dot reduce. And now we write a reducer. Okay, so this is going to be the previous and current. And then we also get our we'll call this accumulator, because why not? Like, why make it easy if you, or no, that's not right. It's previous, and then this is our starting point. So our starting point is just going to be an empty object, and so we will do, what did they do in here? Probably just use that mostly. Row. So we'll say, also I need to turn off these fields, because so that gives us back let's dump this for now so that we can see what's going on. So we get back an array, and in our array we get back one thing for each episode, right? But the collection and the series match because they're already there. So I need to first get out the you gotta give everything names. So we'll go with row dot series, and then we'll get the collection will be the row.collection, and the episode will be row.episode. And that's going to be hard to follow later. It's fine. Then I can do something like what they're doing here. Yeah, so if there is no what is this? Explicitly has an any type. Oh, I don't want to write TypeScript. Don't make me do that. I also don't think I can do it the way that I... This is going to suck. So that's going to be a record, which will be a string key, and then it's going to contain the name of the series, but that's going to be like extended. You know what? I hate this. Here's what we're going to do instead. Now shut up and leave me alone. And then if we don't have that already set up, we're going to say set it up with the season ID, and then inside we're going to set collections this is gonna be such a pain in the butt, and that's gonna be CID, and then episodes is gonna be the episode. Okay, and then if it does exist, then we need to... Oh, I see what's happening. So it's setting it up like this. And then if there is an episode, it is setting previous collections. This is silly. And then we end up with the episode on there. Okay. I don't think that is a good reducer, but I think it will get us the outcome we want. It won't. It absolutely will not. Oh, right, because it's dot episodes. Boo. Oh, I understand. So oh, crap. Computers were a mistake. Cannot read properties of undefined. Why can't you read that? Cannot read properties of undefined. You should definitely be defined. Oh, wait. No? What am I doing wrong, y'all? Can I not pick the columns I want from each table in the select? I can kind of, right? Like I can get a limited subset of some of the pieces here, but it's not really like, that's not the part I'm worried about. It's more that I want them like, why don't you just chill for a second? So if you look at this output, it's like I don't have access to the collection and the episode as part of the same thing. It's like 3 separate entities next to each other. And so what I want is an array that has, you know, one series, and then the series would have its collections, and then the collections would have their episodes, so that that it sort of like makes sense in my mental model. It's complaining about my row.collection. It definitely should be there. Like, so this is my row, and I've got this, and I've got this, and so I should have, this should be collection, which should be this, which should then give me an ID. And so this should set, okay, so why don't we recomment this or uncomment this? And then what I want to do is let's just console log along the way. We're going to get, we'll get all of those, and we'll just see what, so previous is undefined. It should never be undefined because it should be getting this. Am I defining this incorrectly? Reducer. Like, there's no reason. How does this end? Oh, because we're not freaking returning it. Oh my God. Who trusted me on a computer? Okay, so I was right the whole time. Everything is fine. So we've got our season now, which is headed up with the slug. And in fact, why don't we make this easier on ourselves? That's not going to work. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're not going to do that. So we've got our season, and then we have our collections, and each collection has episodes. Perfect. So that's the data that I wanted and kind of the way that I wanted it. There's still some mess in here. I think I would prefer this to be an array, and for me to make this an array, I'll need to do a little more in the accumulator. Which would mean just means adding some like extra logic that I don't particularly want to write, but we're gonna roll with it. So what we're gonna do here instead is we'll add the collection. Okay. And so then we take this part off, and then what that'll get us is now we've got our collections. So then what we would need to do is if let's see, if the accumulator has the season ID and collections and what would it be? It would be every sum, is that the one I'm looking for? Array, sum, element, and then I just return, yeah, okay. So it would be sum, and that would be so that says, let me close this up here. If we don't have the show itself in the accumulator, then add it and put the collection in the collections array. Then we check to see if it's set, because we don't want to run like multiple details here. And so if the show is there and the collections contain the current collection, then we want to actually climb into this thing, and we'll say the collections, and we'll find one. Is it find one? Find returns the first element, so we just need find. Do that, and then we will do episodes and push. Is that going to work? Let's see. It says no. So that means that when we get in here, collections, then we aren't able to push, which means that in here we need to do this. Aha. Okay. So now when we look at this data, we get our shows, then we have the collections, and then each of the collections has its episodes, and these are arrays so that we can loop over them more easily. I don't have to do like an object values or something like that. Feels good. Okay, that's going to be fine. Does the message thingy ever go away? Which message thingy are you? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay. So now we've got these kind of pulling the way that I want them to pull. At least, like this is fine. And for, I think what I would end up doing is I would end up querying by how would this even work? Okay, how am I going to query by series? Because I'm going to need to be able to show, like going back to the design here, I need to be able to show if this is the show itself, then we've got the season. I guess I would just have a list and I would show the first season by default. And then if you would choose a different one, then I would have the ID to do the query by. And those will all be URL driven. Oh, the chat highlight being on, like, light on dark. Oh, can I change that? Let's see. What if I make the brand color? Oh, yeah, that'll work. Look at that go. Now, oh, it still highlights on light. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I think we're okay. All right, so we've got what happening here? We've got our data coming in. And so then the next thing that I'd want to do is we want to create pages for each of the series. And those would live up here based on the slug. I feel like I want something better than... I do think maybe I want the collections to have a slug or something, because it feels like... Because I would want to be able to do, learnwithjason.dev/series/do it anyway /season 1 or just like S1 or something. And because there won't be that many of them, I don't know. I don't necessarily need to solve this problem in a like infinitely scalable way. I can make it a manual process. So maybe I just give these a name for now, and that's okay. So let me open up the config. We're going to go to the collection, and we are in fact going to give it a name, and we're going to give it a slug. And those are going to be required. So this is going to immediately explode. And then I got to come over here and we're going to give this one a name, which is going to be season 1. And we're going to give it a slug, which will be S1. Okay. So now we've got the name and the slug. So we can build out queries now based on that. So if I open up my sidebar and I want to create a page, I will create one called, we'll call it series, and then we'll get the slug, or we'll call it that's okay, I think. No. I think I want it to be like a catch-all. And we'll go with something like that. Okay, so then we'll get the layout. And why don't we do this? We're going to make this one how would we do this? We would want, we might be able to do this all with this one query that we have over here, actually. So if I pull this query and I go here, then I can export const get static paths. And so in this, I need to return params and optionally props. For each page that we want to render. And so what I'll want to do is we're going to get something like, let's say, slash do it anyways S1, right? Or S2 or whatever it is. So that will come in the params, which I believe paginate, that's not what I need. Get static paths, returns an array of, where do the params come from? Are they not in here? Or I guess I don't really need that because I'll have this object. So I get all of the details in here. Okay. Okay. So this will at least let us get kind of started here. So what I want to do is I want to get our series and I'm going to map it, and each one of these is going to have some details in it, and we're going to return those as an object that has params and props. Okay, so inside of our params, I want to, we're going to need like a flat map or something, aren't we? Because there could be multiple collections. Is that not a thing we get? Flat map. Followed by a flat of depth 1. Yeah, that's what I want, is flat map. And then the U can be an any. And I'm going to say I will do collections map. And that is going to be our, that's what we're actually going to return. Is so it'll be params and all? No, what did I call it? Details will be the series slug and the collection slug. And then the props will be that's not what I want. I want I need like some of these details, but not all of them, and I don't really want to. I guess I can just do the thing. You know what? Let's not overthink it for now. What we're going to do instead is we're going to do one of these and one of these. And if I am correct, what we will get is down here, I'll be able to get the episodes, if I can spell it right, out of astro.props. And what we should see down here is that the page itself will print a list of episodes. Okay, let's find out how correct I am. So our slug is do it anyways. And our slug for the season is S1. And that didn't work. Should probably turn off this log. Do it anyways, S1. So, for me to do this properly, it is going medium. I'm pretending that I know how databases work. So, all right. So what we should have had then is let's how do I want to do this? I want to console log this. So we're going to say pages, and we're going to return pages, and then we're going to console log it as well. So but that means it's not doing anything? Oh, I know why. We didn't actually hit we didn't hit that page. Okay, so we've got actual syntax errors. Not defined where? 39? Oh, do I have to move all this inside? A wait can only be used inside an async function. I know how to fix that. Now you're happy? Flat map's not a function? Boo. Okay, so then we map, and then we flat. That is just not, oh wait, it's series dot collections. Oh, maybe it wasn't, maybe that wasn't the problem then. Cannot read properties of undefined. Find, and we want the S slug equals astro params. Oh no, we need to blow that up, don't we? So we want I guess I can do at 0 right now to just make this not explode. But I want to console log the Astro params. Wait, why doesn't this work? What is happening? Oh. That whole thing I was talking about not wanting to do object values. Okay, so then we get the params, right? And we get our episodes. Okay, so we don't need that part at all. Everything is fine. And that should mean that then if we go back into our, let's go back into our seed data and let's add another series. And we're gonna get another UUID in here. And we'll call this one Learn with Jason. And just gonna something like that. And I think I'm just gonna leave the banner image the same right now. And then on our collections, I want to set up a new one of these. And it's for this series. The date, sure, we'll do like, actually, yeah, this is immediately emerging as why this is important, because Learn with Jason gets split up by year. Okay. Then for episodes, let's create one episode of Learn with Jason. And that one is going to, what did I do? Did I miss? Okay, so then we need another one of these. We need the collection to be this new one that we just created. And the most... Oh, wait, did I not rename this? Oh, this needs a new... Okay, that would have thrown an error anyways, but we're gonna... We caught it ahead of time. So we got one of those, and then this would be, I don't know, like Astro DB. Fred teaches Astro. We can head over here. Playlists. Here. Oh, I wonder if this will work. If I take this and I do like a youtube.com, isn't it like watch? It does still work. Okay, I was a little worried that was not going to work, and that would have really thrown a wrench in my works. Okay, so then we've got our YouTube ID, and call it like Astro DB or something. And then for the thumbnail, we're just gonna leave it because we're not really showing those yet. And what I want to see is when I come out here, it's only pulling the 2. When I go back to the home page, we should now see we've got one of our series, and there's Learn with Jason, and it's got our episode in it. And then if I go to series, Learn with Jason 2024, we get our episode. Ta-da! Okay, so this is good. So we now have the data structure set up to create multiple series, to create collections within them, to create episodes within the collections. We can give the collections names, all the things that I want. So then I just need to get more of the, I need to get a little more details about, for example, the, like what the, what am I saying? I need more details about what the series data and what the collection data is, because right now we're only sending back the episodes, which I get. How would I do this? So I guess what I would want then is I would want the, like, what do I even need? I need the title. I need the description. There's probably an easier way for me to do this, but I'm gonna do it the hard way now, because I want to get it working. And then we'd have these details, and inside of these, I want the year, and then I want the name. And I might need the slug. I don't know. We'll get it just in case. But so then if I am getting those details, what I should be able to do now is I should be able to get both of these out. And we'll just wrap that up and do series, collection, episodes. And now if I go forward, we get the details. So now we can do, we can grab the series details out, and I mean, honestly, I'm realizing now that I did all that work to normalize this, and then I pulled it apart anyways in the page. So I'm already seeing ways that I'm going to refactor this, but yeah. So this puts us in pretty good shape here to actually start building, which we don't have time to do because we got 20 minutes left in the session. But let's see if we can at least get the hero banner to display on the page so that we can see some output. So I'm going to do an image. How would this work? We're going to need like a header, and that header is going to have an image in it, or it could be the background image. I'm going to make it an image because I think what I ultimately want to do is a source set with the Cloudinary stuff, because you can do like responsive images really easily. And then I'm going to set the source to be the series banner image. Alt will be title. And then down here, we're going to want something like header will be position relative. We'll give it an aspect ratio of, I don't know. How do we, well, actually not an aspect ratio. I'm going to do block size of, we'll call it 40% of the height. And then we'll make it 100% width. Okay. And then inside here, we're going to make this position absolute. And we'll make the inset 0 and object fit will be cover. Didn't quite work, did it? If I turn this off, does that fix it? Position absolute, inset 0. Why is that? This header is supposed to be what is happening? If you're position absolute, you're position relative. Okay, so that gets a little closer. Yeah. All right. So this is good. This is fine. This is we can work with this. And then I need to make this. I've got like a gradient overlay here. I need to make that part of the CSS because that's going to have to be responsive. But yeah, so we now have this set up to where it should work. If I go to do it anyways, or this isn't going to show any difference because we use the same thingy. So down here, let's put that in here. I feel like this isn't respecting the position absolute in an irritating way. And then that would mean we need H1 to be position relative and Z10. Yeah, that's fine. And in fact, I would want this to be display flex, and we would want the justify content flex, or it would be end. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I want align items end. Close enough. so we need some resets and things like that in the layout to make this all work. But I mean, this is getting us closer to where we want to go. And then if I set up something out here, like we'll call it a section, and inside of it, we will do a episodes dot map, and that gives us an episode. And we'll be able to return, I don't know, we'll give it a div. And for that div, inside of it, we will put in an image with a source of episode dot, what do we have in here? I forget. Oh, that's right, because I completely broke all of this. We have the thumbnail. And the alt will be episode.title. And then, come on. We would get, like, I don't know, well, you know what? We'll just go simple with episode.title for now. Okay, and then we'll give this a class of episode. This will all need to get cleaned up a little bit later, but for now, it's fine. So then episode is going to be display block, and that's probably good enough for now. And then inside of it, when there's an image, we're going to say display block, and block size will be 100%. And we'll give this one I don't know, we'll call it a inline size of 170 pixels. How about that? And then this needs to be inline size. Okay, so that's doing a thing. That's kind of doing what we want. And then if I take this and I go to do it anyways, we're going to have to fix that. Then we get our actual episodes. So this that feels all right. And then if we swap out the testing with the series name, was it name or title? Title. So now when we move back and forth, we get details. Okay, so this is we got a long way to go here, but this is the database is like structured and set up here, and that feels pretty good. Pretty excited about that. Max width, height, auto. Yeah, I probably need that. But so look at us go. Look at us go, y'all. We did it. We have what I think is a functional setup for one of these Netflix style pages. So a lot of styling work to do. Got to get the video part in place, and then I have this video view transitions page. I also kind of want to work with this for these pages. I want to implement this general detail here. So. Oh boy, I got to fix that. This has to get off the side there. But so then we'll be able to list all these pages and get everything running. And that's going to be dope. So anyways, lots and lots of good stuff going on here. We've got a long ways to go, but I should be able to get all of this sort of pulled together into a kind of coherent video navigation style page, right? So yeah, I think that's a good stopping point. So why don't I commit these changes here? Going to, did I init this? What's in here? We've got all these details. That's all good. Yeah, this feels fine. So I'm going to git commit, and we'll say DB is set up. routing in progress, no styles. Okay, so then we're going to GitHub repo create, and we want to push this repo up. We're going to push that up to the Learn with JSON repo, make it public. Good. All right, so now there's the source code if anybody wants to play with this today. Oh, and then I guess the other one, this is the demo for the view transitions, which we also built on stream. If I can, let's see, where did that end up? Here. This is the build for that one if you want to see how we did the view transitions piece, and then we also have the source code for it. Don't make me type stuff, come on. Yeah, here's the code for that. So, lots of good stuff going on there. And if you want to figure out how all that works, you know, go and give it a play. That one gets heavy into the Astro view transitions. This one was more into Astro DB. And then we've got a couple others that we've done, like we did a one-shot on Astro. Let's see if I can find it. We did a one-shot on the design and dev of a landing page, which was pretty fun. Another fun one to go look at if you want to, you know, get deeper into this Astro hole. And then I also have, all of this is working toward this Astro Party product. So this will be a full guided course. We're going to go through all this in a much more organized way. We'll get through each of the concepts and everything. I'm probably, hopefully, going to do an Astro workshop this summer. So if you're interested in learning Astro, I'm going to put together a workshop that'll be some of what we're going to cover in the course, but it's a good way to get a sense of, you know, is it helping you learn all those sorts of things? But yeah, definitely, if you want to learn Astro, go sign up on this site, astro.party, for, let me just put the, go sign up at astro.party for updates on that, because the workshop will go through here. Like I'll make a lot of noise about it, but this is the most direct way to get information about that as it's coming out. Am I pointing at the right thing? This right here. Go sign up right there, because also you just get to hang out with these cool ghosts. So yeah, get on this list, and I will be doing more Astro stuff as the summer comes on. I'm very excited about it. You know, as like I'm going to be building a bunch of stuff for myself anyways, like all this stuff that I'm working on, the view transitions, the database stuff that I just did. That's all part of like Learn with JSON 3.0, I think it is, maybe 4.0. So lots to come in the future. So make sure you get on all those updates. And remember, if you want to support the show, please do like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel. If you've got a few bucks to spare and you want to support creation of videos, you can join this channel as a member. It's somewhere between like $4 and $10, depending on what tier you choose. And every single dollar that I get gets reinvested right back into the channel, making stuff like this, like the 4 web dev series, the web lunch series, the Learn with JSON series. All of that is stuff that I fund out of my company. So every little bit helps and makes a big difference, and make sure that I can afford dinner also. So thank you all very much. It's been fun hanging out. We will talk to you next time on Thursday. Thursday is going to be fun. We'll see you there. Oh man, I hit the end stream button and then I tried to do like the smile as we went offline, but I didn't hit the confirmation. So I was just looking into the camera and nothing was going to happen. Okay, I'm leaving for real now. Bye.